Welcome back to another episode of Caps Off by the Game Day. Woo! Hey, victory Monday for all of us. None of us got an L. Woo!
Can't lose the bye week.
Can't lose the bye week.
Can't lose the bye week.
Go Giants, baby.
Go Giants.
No Felipe today, unfortunately. Still a little under the weather.
We got his doppelganger right here hanging out. We actually probably should have pictured Lamar Jackson there.
Oh, we should have.
Lamar and Felipe are the same person, but
so are him and Hezbollah.
Yeah, hell of a day. This would have been a really great day for Felipe not to be sick.
I know. We're going to talk about the Eagles. We're going to talk about the Niners.
But I know we're going to talk about the Eagles. But as much as I want to talk about the Niners, how well they did, I want Felipe to just fucking dog on the Eagles.
He will at some point this week. We'll let him have his moment. We have to. I think.
I would have loved that today. Just all the energy he would have brought. So.
But there is so much to talk about. Week 13 was just jam-packed with excitement in it.
Excitement in it. It was great.
It was great.
Jam-packed with excitement. You got Man City at Tottenham.
Tottenham,
absolutely huge draw. Good point for the lads. Probably should have had 3, but that's a real football, mate, innit?
Is that true?
Yeah, actually.
Do you follow?
No, I saw it on my phone because my buddy's a big Tottenham fan, and I was with him this weekend. And we both bet Tottenham was plus 800. So
I gotta say, you're one of the best. Like, you're obviously a huge sports fan, but you're one of the best at like keeping up with pretty much every sport to some degree.
Dude, I'm wildly
you're
not at,
really good at it.
Not at NBA this year. I gotta get better at that.
Same.
Because usually for me, like I'll pay attention to college basketball a lot sooner because Mizzou football sucks so much.
Yeah.
So I'll pay attention to basketball.
How's Mizzou basketball?
I don't know because our football team's so fucking nice. And usually the Niners quarterback will get hurt about this time of year, so I'll be paying attention to the Warriors more. But now it's interesting. It's nice.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to basketball at all. I'm in a fantasy basketball league. I've set my lineup, but that's it.
How did you do? Speaking of basketball, how'd you do yesterday in your game?
Did fine. Got the dub. Got into early foul trouble, unfortunately, but I finished with
early foul trouble.
10 points, 10.7 rebounds, 3 blocks.
Okay.
I'm trying to lead the league in blocks every year. Last year I did.
I think if you're 6'8" or 7, whatever, and you don't lead a Jewish basketball league in blocks, you're doing it wrong.
I have to, exactly.
Like, that's actually pathetic.
It was a good team
again if you can't lead the league in blocks.
Good team win. Bro. I didn't know a bunch of the guys on my team, but we have a very well balanced squad, and we have good morale. Everybody brings something to the table. So
we
got the size, we got the speed, we got it all.
You got a good towel guy on the bench.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Leaving the towels.
I know everyone can play, man. Everyone on our team is decent, which is pretty good. So
it's fun.
That's what you would love to see in a rec basketball league.
Someone commented already, free Big Dom.
Facts, Big Dom was the highlight of my week.
I love me some Big Dom.
The highlight of my week was having 215,000 times tapped on the screen with your thumb.
Yeah,
we had so many people tuning into our live yesterday for the Niners game,
insane.
Niners Eagles.
We gotta start doing it for prime time.
We will.
Hey, Cowboys Eagles.
We're gonna go. Thank you guys who tuned in yesterday for our live of the Niners Eagles game. But this coming week, Sunday night football, we're gonna go live for the Cowboys Eagles game. So be sure to tune in there. It'll be a good time. We'll double the viewership next week if you guys come and
with the likes
and watch with us. But let's start with Sunday night football from this week. We're gonna recap a whole bunch of games, everything from week 13. Let's talk about that Chiefs-Packers game. How do we feel about that Chiefs-Packers game? What's your reaction to how that game went?
That's the number one Packers fan in the nation right here.
That's why I'm wearing green, baby.
Is it?
Go, Pack, go!
Are you wearing green because of that?
No, but now I am.
But now it works. I like
the Packers, Jordan Love. Love is in the air.
Love is in the air. Love is love, baby. Love is love.
You see they called it the love shove yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, when he had the tush push. It was all, I love that.
Who the fuck is coming up with
Mike Tirico, dude. Mike Tirico's the man.
That wasn't
good. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I was hoping it was just someone on Twitter that
No, Mike Tirico called it the love shove.
No, let's talk about the Packers, though. The Packers, because we're going to get into the Chiefs. But this Packers team, we got to put some respect on Jordan Love's name. This Packers team, they're going to make the playoffs. The Packers will make the playoffs. The schedule coming up for them is juicy. All 5 games they could win.
I would say there's not one game that I'm like, oh, they might lose that one. Like,
I got to look at their schedule.
I'll tell you their schedule right now. I have it up.
Baby.
I have
what are the Packers? They 7-5?
Let me find it.
I think they're 6-6 now.
6-6, 500. 500. Started off slowly. Obviously, also fun fact: Matt LaFleur still undefeated in December in his career as the Green Bay Packers.
That too,
yeah, it's crazy. Packers at Giants. Who wins that game?
Packers.
Bucks at Packers.
Packers.
Packers at Panthers.
Bucks could win that game.
Packers at Vikings.
Maybe Vikings.
Bears at Packers.
Well, the Bears never beat the Packers.
Your next 5 games, even if you were to go 4-1, this Packers team is going to make a run to get into the playoffs.
They legitimately go 11-6.
They can. Jordan Love, dude, over the last 3 games, Jordan Love has thrown 8 touchdowns and 0 INTs. We need to put respect on this team because they are the youngest team. Last 3 games, 8-0. Really this is the youngest team in the NFL. Also, like this is a young fucking team, and also. Credit to Joel Moran for saying this, but this is what it looks like if you allow someone to sit behind, a quarterback for an extended period of time and develop, and then he comes out and give him some time and he performs. Jordan Love looks fucking damn good. I'm happy for the Packers. I know you're not. You hate the Packers. You hate Packers fans.
No, I just think they deserve to suffer a little. You had Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Oh, God damn, it must be nice.
Must be nice, man.
Must be nice.
Always have someone
I had to deal with Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard and Jeff Garcia
and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, dude, I was saying
Sean Hill for a little bit.
Who the fuck is Sean
Exactly.
Hill? Yeah, dude. It's hard to find a stud quarterback, and Jordan Love has been fucking.
And the fucking Packers might be 3 for goddamn 3 the last 35 years.
And who had 2 touchdowns last night? Who had
Christian Watson?
Man.
Shout out. I hope his
Adam. Congrats on trading for him. And who had a really big catch down the field? Big game.
Romeo Doubs.
I mean, does someone know ball on this podcast?
Romeo.
Ball, bro? Oh
I'm just saying, Romeo, wear out that Romeo.
We're 4 arcs.
Yeah, same shit, bro.
Yeah, math.
We're still trying to find Romeo. We can't find him, all right?
Yep.
Hey.
I think we found him.
But I'm happy for the Packers. The Packers are going to make the playoffs.
I want to look at Jordan Love's stats from the
Jordan
last
Love's
few weeks.
been pure hooper hours these last couple of games.
Good.
He's looked damn fucking good, all right? But are we ready? Because I want to go into the other side of the team.
I'm happy for the Packers. I think it's fun to watch Jordan Love a little bit right now.
It's good.
As much as I don't want the Packers to do well, just because I genuinely don't like them.
But it's different because I guess Aaron Rodgers' persona, like the Aaron Rodgers guy, was not made yet.
No,
once Brett Favre had left the Packers. So I get that notion, but there's just something to be said about Jordan Love having to sit behind this raw feeling of sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for all these years, getting, no love. And they were going to move on from him this year. They said they were going to give him a chance. And to see them having success, to see him having success, also with young talents and young weapons, you could also make the argument Aaron Rodgers should have never fucking left. The weapons in Green Bay, as I've been saying,
better than New York.
As I've been saying,
are they better?
Yes, the weapons in Green Bay are better than the weapons in New York.
Breece Hall and Aaron Jones are comparable. You got Garrett Wilson, who's better than anyone in Green Bay.
Facts.
But
I think Breece is better than Aaron Jones.
I was going to say,
Jones, if Breece Hall is younger and Aaron Jones is better, if Felipe was here, he'd be ripping into that take. But I do think you can make an argument around the complete supporting cast.
Watson, Dobbs, and Wicks. I would say
Jaden Reed, also third round rookie. I think
all those guys are better than whatever the
Musgrave. Yeah, obviously.
Musgrave.
Well, Musgrave didn't play because I think he's got a lacerated kidney. He was in the hospital. He's on IR. But I do think, and I wholeheartedly believe this, that the Packers' weapons are better than the Jets' weapons. And Aaron Rodgers made that mistake. Now, granted, I think they wanted to move on from him and they needed to see what they had in Jordan Love.
Why Aaron Rodgers?
Agreed. But if you just look based off what might have given you the
better chance to
win, I still think, and I've been saying it all year, and Felipe and I have argued so many times over it, I still believe, and I will stand on that the Packers had better weapons than the Jets. The Jets are more top heavy.
Part, but I still think with the Jets, because of their defense, you have a better chance to win with the Jets if you just place Aaron Rodgers there.
Agree, but I think the Packers' defense is underrated, which is what I've said. I think
underrated, but the Jets' defense is
good.
You could make an argument it's the best in football because they're on the field fucking 80% of the game they're still balling.
We're in a league right now where you need to have offense, right? The Patriots defense has given up 3 points in the last 3 games. What is it? They've given up 6 points. It's some crazy stat. Whatever. We'll get into the Patriots. Yeah. The Patriots defense has given up little to no points over the last 3 games, and they've still lost. A defense isn't just going to win you games. Granted, Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson can do special things. I understand. I'm just saying, I also want weapons. Let's not ignore the fact that you need talent and weapons. Look at Patrick Mahomes. Even Mahomes needs weapons, and we're going to get into it.
Let's get into it.
Get into it then.
What are our takeaways from the Chiefs, from that Chiefs-Packers game?
My takeaway, and my takeaway, and I want your takeaway, and I want Jack's takeaway as well. But my takeaway,
off right now.
Just let me go, because I got a couple sips. I got a couple sips of the Celsius.
Did you have coffee before this as well?
Pre-workout.
Yep. Did you not have coffee yet?
How's your heart?
Fine, dude. This is baseline.
I would love to get your physical results,
dude. I'm in good shape.
I know, but you might have heart of like an 85-year-old.
Do you want to see what my heart rate is?
You might feel like you're in good shape, but
Yeah,
you might have
what's
a
your
heart
BPMs
attack
at?
in the next 5 years.
Let me know when it comes in. Well, when we were at the draft and I started breaking
God.
down because I had too much caffeine.
Yeah, you literally got caffeine poisoning.
I had
Oh
caffeine
my God.
poisoning. 79. See,
79.
we're coasting.
Wow,
That's good.
Wow, that's
See, you see what I'm saying?
You should get that. checked out.
Going back to the Chiefs.
Regardless, either way.
Exactly.
My takeaway from this Chiefs performance is that the Chiefs are taking Patrick Mahomes for granted this year. And I want to credit Joel
Can you
Moran.
explain
I'm
that?
going to explain it, but I want to credit Joel Moran of the Pick Aside podcast, our guy, Joel Moran.
We got to get him on, man.
Because he brought up
We
this
will.
take. He brought up this take, I think it was last week, and I wasn't fully sold on it. And I just started like looking at the numbers. Everyone in the NFL, even the greatest quarterbacks, need weapons. And you came into this year, even though you lost Juju and Juju was not that good, you said, you know what? We're
good.
go with Travis Kelce, with Rashee Rice, Sky Moore. You haven't replaced
You
never
had a chance
replaced
to go-
Juju.
You had a chance to go and get D-Hop.
You had a
chance.
chance. You said, no, we're good. We're going to replenish the fucking defense. We're going to add pieces. We're going to build on the defense. Look, Patrick Mahomes isn't even making those weapons look good. So I do believe that they are taking for granted who Mahomes is. Now, I think they'll be fine, and I think next year they'll replenish. But this team is not going to win the Super Bowl, and I hope that ages like a fucking like milk. But I think they're taking it for granted because they think and expected him to turn some of these younger wide receivers into studs, and they can't do that. And frankly, and I'll say it, dare I say it, Travis Kelce also looks like an old lard.
Father Time was going to come get him at some point.
And it looks like it is.
36.
But I don't.
Well, he's not 30.
I think it's
He's
35 or
33.
33. Oh, I'm way off on that.
But 36 was
So
way
weird.
better than the argument. No, I think he's 33.
Look it up. You
But
got your
33,
odds.
I just want.
He looks slower.
Let's not be pretending though that Juju Smith-Schuster
He was still
the
not. That's
fucking
still 900
reason.
receiving yards.
Like, I think it's okay to say that Patrick Mahomes
34.
had a fucking
34?
awesome season last year, and he is bound to regress from his ridiculous MVP season.
Agreed.
Right? I don't think Juju is the problem. Losing a fucking one wide receiver
It's
who's
an
not
example.
that
It's an
good of a
exa-
wide receiver. They came
No,
out
he's
of
still
that
900
season.
receiving yards.
They came out of that season. That's fine, but he's not that good of a receiver. I'm saying, like, he's not the game-breaking guy that's changing the
Better than
trajectory
MVS or
of
Sky
Mahomes.
Moore.
I think they thought that Sky Moore, MVS, fucking who's
Tony.
the other guy?
Kadarius
Kadarius Toney,
Toney, you
Rashee
trade.
Rice, like any of those guys could have been the guy to replace that fucking mid-tier wide receiver for Patrick Mahomes.
But that's my
I
point.
think it is fair for us after last season to have expected Patrick Mahomes. We came out of last season saying Patrick Mahomes could turn anyone into a weapon. And I think that was a fair assumption after the way he
It was
played
a
last
fair
year.
assumption.
For sure.
This year, he's clearly not able to do that. He obviously had a regression of a year. He's still the best player in football, without a doubt.
I agree with you.
Hands down. But I also think him having that superstar, ridiculous season last year, it was fair for us to assume that, and it's fair for us now to say, okay, we were wrong, and he does need a wide receiver one.
Even
he
the
really
best
needs
quarterback in the NFL
Maybe the
needs weapons
most
around
talented
him.
quarterback I've ever seen.
Needs help. And I know the argument was like he still has Travis Kelce, but there's a difference between this alpha X wide receiver that can make someone miss and Travis Kelce, who when Mahomes scrambles is really when Travis Kelce comes alive. He's still arguably the greatest tight end of all time, but he looks like he's lost a step. And maybe it's Taylor Swift. And granted, if that's why you lost a step, I'm happy for you because that's the right step to lose. I just
gotta
think
shake it off at the end
exactly.
of the day,
Oh, so good. But that's why I just think this year specifically, and only this year, they came into this season taking what he brings to the table for granted, because if you just added D-Hop who wanted to come there, if you just went out and traded for a potential Mike Evans,
the
who is
number of MVS drops are insane.
the amount of
That's why
not
he
even
didn't get the
MVS
PI call
drops.
on
The
him yesterday.
The Chiefs lead the NFL in drops.
It's insane.
And I saw a stat. You want to know why
Also
I
in
do also
yards
think
after
this,
catch.
which is crazy. The Chiefs this year have scored 20 points or less 6 times. In the 5 seasons combined that Mahomes has been the starter for the Kansas City Chiefs, they've scored 20 points or less 6 times.
Oh, in 5 years before that. But
In
this
5
season,
years combined, they've
That's
scored
insane.
they've scored
That's
20
insane.
points or less 6 times. This season alone, they've scored 20 points or less 6 times. And I think that's really the root of my argument, is that I think they've taken for granted what Mahomes is. And I just don't I get it. The defense is fantastic, and I understand it. And they lost some pieces on the offensive line, and they haven't been the same. I just think that sometimes teams do this. Sometimes GMs do this, where they're like, holy shit, look who we have. We're going to build other pieces around and hope that it works out. And frankly, I think what we've seen is that this offense is not the same. So I believe that they should have went out and obviously got that alpha weapon. I think even Patrick Mahomes, the greatest talent we've seen at the position, needs an elite weapon. And frankly, Kelce, Kelsey can't be it, but he's lost.
But I also think that Patrick Mahomes has not been playing like Patrick Mahomes.
They have the most drops. They have the most drops in the NFL. That's not Patrick Mahomes' fault.
I'm just saying last night, like he had a bad interception late that was like on him. Like he just made a bad throw. Like
No, that was Sky Moore, bro. It was a 2 different route. One
choice ops.
Yeah, Sky Moore. He thought Sky Moore was going to run a wheel route.
Oh, really?
And Sky just stopped. Well, that's why he threw it and he picked it off. The fucking DB ran the route.
Even so, though, I just feel like Mahomes hasn't been hitting guys in the same way that we've seen him hit.
Bro,
guys.
They have the most drops in the NFL. He's hitting them. They're not catching it.
All right. Whatever.
So I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. Like, if there's any quarterback that you should make the argument for to not need that weapon, it's Mahomes. But
Patrick Mahomes has the most room to regress.
I still think if Travis Kelce is
he's at such a high fucking peak last year.
I still think like if Travis Kelce was at his peak and he's still your number one option, that's not enough. Because an elite tight end as your number one option is proven to not be enough. Usually.
Well, no, look at Mark Andrews. Granted, Kelsey's way better than Mark Andrews, but Baltimore struggled.
Yeah, but their wide receivers are catching balls more.
Well, I'm just saying the years prior, that offense was still like with Greg Roman.
What about Brady and Gronk? Like there were years where Brady only had Gronk and he had guys like fucking Sky Moore.
Nah, he still had Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, Randy Moss for you. Like he still had guys.
Yeah, Julian Edelman's better. Yeah,
like I just think and they'll be fine. I think the Chiefs, you're still going to make the playoffs. You're still going to be getting shootouts. You still have Patrick Mahomes. That's why you could overcome that, right? I just think had you added a weapon to play off of Kelsey and then had Rashee Rice as your third, that offense is lethal. So I just think Brett Veach took that offense, took Mahomes for granted this year, and you learn.
I mean, we've been saying it for the existence of this podcast, however long it's been, a year and a half, right? Like that the good quarterbacks still need really good wide receiver ones in order to be really good.
Well, because it takes the pressure off of them too.
You don't get Stephon Diggs. Tua gets Tyreek Hill.
AJ Brown for fucking
Jalen Hurts gets AJ Brown. Exactly.
You can tell with Mahomes this year he's trying to force it a lot more because when you don't have that safety or like security blanket where like a Stephon Diggs is going to get open or whoever you got as an elite quarterback, like you're going to start having to try and force it and do stuff yourself, and that's where you get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Do you if you had to pick a side? Not Joel's side. Do you agree that that Mahomes has been taken for granted slightly this year or do you disagree with what I'm saying?
I agree in some aspects. In some aspects, I understand that they wanted to bulk up the defense and make that better because that's always been kind of the Achilles heel for the Chiefs.
Fair.
So if you think Mahomes can carry this team like you had, that's what they thought that because they saw last year.
And I think that's so valid.
And it's super fair.
He played last year.
Now you're realizing that might not be the case, and that's fine. So you go and fix that next year, right?
I agree with. I don't
Chris
hate
Jones
it.
there for the next few years, right? They signed him for long term.
No, I think it was 1 year.
Just 1 year.
Look, I don't hate the approach, right? It's easy for me to point fingers now, but I think when you look at the stats, the fact that in 5 years they scored 20 points or less 6 times, and this year they've scored 20 points or less 6 times is a wild stat to look at.
We're only about to have week 14.
Yeah, right. Like the offense is different. So let's retool.
Let's talk about some other good offenses that played yesterday.
Oh, which one?
The Giants and the Panthers.
Dude, Tommy DeVito went crazy.
Dude, he did.
Dude, he didn't throw a pick. No incompletions either. That was nuts.
No, let's talk about the Niners-Eagles game, though,
Perfect
for real. We watched that game live. It was a great fucking time. Lot of good vibes. You told us, Jack. We all rode the Eagles. We thought the Eagles were the better team and then could come out with a dub from that. And
I rode the Eagles on one logic, but yeah.
You rode just based off the link.
Strictly the link and being an underdog at home. I will die on that. I'll take that.
But they're underdog at home for a reason because they are by far a worse team than the 49ers. The Eagles are by far a worse team than the 49ers. That was proven yesterday. When both teams are fully healthy, when any team is fully healthy, if they go up against the Niners, you're getting beat the fuck out. You're getting the fuck beat out of you. It does not matter who you are, where we play. We are beating the shit out of you. But when we're fully healthy, the Niners are the best team in football. I think that was proven yesterday. Doesn't matter if we're going to the link on the road. Like it just doesn't fucking matter.
Those 3 games you lost, you weren't fully healthy, right?
No, they weren't fully healthy. Trent was out for all of them. Trent Williams was out for all of them. Dio was out for a couple of them.
I mean, that was a disrespectful performance.
It was fucking.
That was like
violent.
It was awesome, man.
Violent.
It was one of those
Dre
games
Greenlaw, the new Draymond Green. That's
I love it, dude. Draymond's been my favorite player in the Warriors. Like, you need a guy like that. But also, the security guard, Big Dom, touched him first. So let's be honest about that.
He started it.
But I love me some Big Dom.
Mad respect,
but
Big Dom.
Like, I don't know. My takeaway is that, like, and I don't think that's a hot take right now, right? To say the Niners are by far and away the best team in football when fully healthy, whatever. But I've been trying to say it this year, and even when Brock had his 3 games struggling, like can we please, and I think people are starting to come on this train with me, and I appreciate that. Can we please give Brock Purdy his flowers? Can we please put Brock Purdy as the front runner for the MVP right now? He absolutely deserves it.
Vegas already did. So
he absolutely deserves it. And I think just because Vegas did does not mean thank you for the flower. Appreciate that. Just because Vegas is doing it does not mean that everyone in the comments, everywhere, everyone that's watching this right now, whatever, will agree with that. Here, can you take that?
Yeah, I'll take the flowers back. I'll hold it for Brock.
I don't think a lot of people agree with that. Be like, oh, the weapons. Just let me. I came prepared today.
Tell me why Brock Purdy should be MVP.
I never do this.
Get in the fucking lab.
All right.
In the lab.
So currently, Brock Purdy leads the NFL in QBR, passer rating, yards per completion, touchdown percentage, completion percentage, air yards per attempt. Let's get into that stat for a sec. All right.
Into it.
Brock Purdy's 9.59 yards per attempt through 12 games is the most in NFL history.
Woo!
The other four guys that have the highest, like the four guys right after him, 2011 Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. 2004 Peyton Manning won the MVP. 1988 Boomer Esiason won the MVP. 1984 Dan Marino won the MVP.
Yeah, shout out Porpoise.
Miami fans.
Just saying, that's quite interesting. Brock Purdy is on pace to throw for 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Only 8 players have ever done that in NFL history. 3 won MVP. 3 are Tom Brady. 1 is Aaron Rodgers. 1 is Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. Damn! Brocky
quite
P. Brocky
Purdy.
Brock VP. Brock VP.
I ain't finished.
Tarico.
The top 8 passer rating games this season. Brock Purdy is one of only 2 people to have a perfect passer rating this year, 158.3. The rest of them, Brock Purdy has 4 of the top 8 passer rating games this season alone. No one else has 2. All right.
Oh my God.
And I don't want to hear about all that yak bullshit, yards after catch bullshit. Don't fucking give me that.
Why?
I know Brock's got great weapons. So does every other great fucking quarterback in the league. I don't want that yak bullshit. The Niners are 11th in team yards after catch in the league this year. 11th. The Chiefs are first. We never give Patrick Mahomes shit about yak.
Speaking of
50% of Patrick Mahomes, you told me this. 50% of Patrick Mahomes is
50. Oh, so let's just get into it, right? So
yeah,
yards after a catch accounts for 48.5% of Brock Purdy's passing yards this season. The average NFL starting quarterback has 47% of their yards come from yak. The average for an NFL MVP over the last 10 years was 48%.
What's Brock at again?
47?
48.5.
48. Oh, interesting.
But here's where it gets crazy. We freaked out about Patrick Mahomes, right? Last year, when Patrick Mahomes had his insane MVP season, you know what his yak number?
No, what was his yak number?
What was it?
54%.
Woo!
I'll bet you it was even higher when he had fucking Tyreek
So we were
Hill
talking about him
too.
not having weapons, but clearly his weapons were making shit happen.
Patrick Mahomes, and granted, he's amazing, but using the yak argument against Brock Purdy is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. By far the
classic.
dumbest thing.
It's also yak attack. It's just people trying to discredit him because he was the last overall pick and because they know that we got Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, McCaffrey. Like, yeah, we got those boys.
Bro, it's ridiculous. Like, can we let's just peel back the curtain on the argument of someone saying, oh, well, he has these weapons? Because I got very triggered as a Tua fan when people say about Tyreek. Yep. So you're telling me that the quarterback's job is to throw to his weapons, and those weapons are supposed to do something crazy
when they get the ball.
When they get the ball. So if they don't do that, naturally the team sucks. But if they do that, it's not.
But then the quarterback's not that good. It's because he's a beneficiary of.
I think it's just a ridiculous. It's a ridiculous argument to say that. Oh, the yak, bro. Yak is part of the game. All right, that stat proves it.
Yak
so.
Attack.
Give Brock Purdy some flowers. However,
it's ridiculous though. Like if Brock Purdy was drafted in the first 3 rounds,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
People are talking about him as a top 5 quarterback, at least top 10 quarterback in the league. And it's just ridiculous that the fact that he was drafted at 262, Mr. 100%. Irrelevant, is why no one will ever believe in him. He has to win a Super Bowl and an MVP, I think, to possibly.
I got a hashtag fun stat.
And people, real quick, and people also, because it's the same argument. Like, people will give him his flowers as MVP for this season, but they will not put him as a top. Like, they won't put him as a top.
They will never do that.
They're not going to make him a top 5 quarterback
because he's a beneficiary of his supporting cast.
Right.
And it's like, it pisses me off so much too, because it's like CJ Stroud has very comparable numbers right now to Brock Purdy. CJ Stroud, people are already like, oh, he might be a top 10 quarterback. He might be like top 5. Wow, like he could be in the MVP conversation.
He was just second overall.
And people were doing that weeks ago with CJ Stroud. People were not doing that with Brock Purdy.
No.
The one thing I'll say,
it's insane. The
one thing I'll say to that though is that it's the same argument that anyone might make is if you could see it for like 2 years. Now, granted, he did it over the whole back half of the season of last year.
It's been over.
So I understand it. But because of the way he got hurt in that NFC Championship game and they lost, like that's for unfairly a stain in terms of like putting him consistently in that top 5. But if he keeps this up and he goes and wins MVP, there's no doubt about it that Brock Purdy is a top 5 quarterback. I don't know how you don't put him if he wins the MVP. He'd be the first ever MVP to not be in the top 5 quarterbacks. It's insane.
Well, and I guarantee you that people are going to still not put him in the top 5.
Of course.
He wins MVP,
I guarantee you.
I promise you that.
He's going to win MVP.
I promise you won't even put him in the top 10.
People are going to keep him out of the top 10.
I got another fun
100%.
stat to back up Brock Purdy's
zero doubt in my mind.
His large, big.
Brock Purdy has 4 games with at least 3 touchdown passes and a passer rating of 140 or higher this season. Wait. Brock Purdy, 4 games with 3 touchdown passes and a passer rating above 140 this year.
Beast.
That's tied with Tom Brady in 2007 and Aaron Rodgers in 2011 for the most such games by a quarterback in a season.
Where they both won MVP.
Only through 12
in
weeks.
NFL history.
And they both won MVP in those seasons.
Correct. Well, did Brady win in 2007?
I believe he did.
That
was a crazy year.
They went 16-0 and
here's my
went
one
to
knock.
the Super Bowl and lost.
Yeah,
here's my one knock, and I said this to you off the pod, Jack. The problem with Brock is that if he doesn't keep up these absurd numbers, which is so unfair, he won't win the MVP because of those 3 games that he had, those bad 3 games.
And I understand that, and I know that people will hold those against him no matter what, right? I get that. But I think that's fucking bullshit.
I agree.
Because every single quarterback that has ever played a whole season of football, none of them have had 16, 17 perfect games. None of them have played amazing for 16, 17 games. They all have a couple duds. That's just how it works. Like, look at Mahomes last year. He started the year off like shit, right? He looked bad. And then he wins the MVP. Jalen Hurts has had some bad games this year. He might win the MVP. Like, Dak Prescott looked horrible against the 49ers, and people are saying that he's up there as the MVP too. Like, just be consistent with it. Don't look at Brock's 3 games. We lost those games. He also threw for over 300 yards in 2 of them.
You have 2 more years of him on a rookie deal?
Yeah, 2 more.
Well, Mahomes is pretty damn good in September usually. Do you have Brock Purdy's stats? Like just overarching stats? Handy?
Overarching stats.
Like just like his big like completion percentage, passing yards.
I can pull that
because
up.
I pulled up Patrick Mahomes, who won the MVP last year, his stats through 13 games. And outside of passing yards, I think they're pretty damn comparable. So it makes sense that Brock Purdy should be the favorite. It also, and I want to get into this afterwards, you got his stats. So completion percentage. What is Brock Purdy's completion percentage this year?
70.2%.
Mahomes through 13 games last year was 65.8% completion
also, Brock's only played 12 games this year.
Okay, well, I took 13 games.
Oh, well, this is just absurd.
Well, I took 13
One
games.
more?
How many passing yards?
3,185.
So that doesn't help. Mahomes has 1,000 extra passing yards, and he had 2
one
games.
More game though. So Brock, if he throws for 1,000,
Patrick Mahomes had 2 games above 400 yards through those 13 games last year. So that is where I agree. The passing yards hurts. But what about his touchdowns?
Touchdowns 23.
Okay, that also hurts. Now that I'm looking at it, 33 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes through 13 games.
Maybe let's just stop.
I just want to be clear.
How about INTs?
INTs. He has
got less than Mahomes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, Mahomes has 11. So that one definitely.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, but again, I mean, like, I don't think anybody is saying Brock Purdy is Patrick Mahomes. I don't think anybody is saying Brock Purdy is Patrick Mahomes, though. Patrick Mahomes had a nuclear season last year. Brock Purdy is having one of the best seasons in football this year, but it's not nuclear, right? It's not the greatest season ever.
I mean,
so Patrick Mahomes,
he's not
Mahomes put up a season last
400
year,
or 500 yards a game. But he's thrown for almost 300.
I mean,
for sure. But Patrick Mahomes put up a season last year where we came out of it saying that he's the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like that he is
actually the Super Bowl too.
That's true, but I'm just saying, like, So he came out of that being even better than his previous MVP season and his previous Super Bowl season, right? It's like we can't compare nuclear Patrick Mahomes to a Brock Purdy.
At the same
MVP
time, though,
season.
Brock is on pace to throw for 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions. Like that's a good fucking year.
Here's how I'd put it, though. I get Brock Purdy is the MVP favorite right now. For me, he wouldn't be the MVP. I would still give it to Dak. But to me, in general,
how would you give it to Dak?
I'm going to tell you. To me, in general, there are.
What does Dak do better? What statistics?
I think the supporting cast around Dak is worse than. Listen to me. Is worse.
He's so upset.
I know.
He's so
the supporting
upset.
cast around Dak is worse than Purdy. Now, granted, it's not a fair argument because that's going to knock
Like
Purdy.
it's
But those
bad?
3 games that Brock Purdy played is going to hurt him. The games that Dak didn't go crazy, they were blowing out teams still. So
we're blowing out everyone too.
I'm with you. I'm just saying Brock Purdy's individual performance was not good during those 3 games.
Yes, it was. He had bad interceptions at bad times, but during the rest of the game, inopportune time. But the rest of the game, he played really fucking well.
To me, there are
the Bengals and Browns games he threw for almost 300 yards.
To me, there are 3 legitimate MVP candidates this year. Just 3.
Who?
Everyone else is just throwing them in. 1, Brock Purdy. Naturally playing incredibly on arguably the best team in football, deserves it. If the 49ers get the number 1 seed and Brock Purdy keeps this up, MVP.
Yep.
The other MVP,
Fair.
Dak Prescott. If the Cowboys win the NFC East and he goes in, or I guess Philadelphia comes in on Sunday night and they win and Dak keeps up this type of performance, could also be the favorite, has a case to be the MVP. But those 2 things need to happen. He needs to beat the Eagles, and they also need to win the NFC East. The third MVP
what team beat fucking both of them by $1 billion?
I'm with you. I put Brock first. Shut the fuck
I'm
up.
just saying.
And you know who's third? Who? Tyreek Hill.
I agree.
If Tyreek Hill goes for 2,000 yards and the Dolphins get the number 1 seed in the AFC, MVP.
Not Tua.
I don't.
No.
Tyreek
deserves the MVP way more than
I
Tua.
think no matter what, he is not going to win it.
Agree with you. But to me,
he deserves to be in the conversation. I agree.
When was the last time a position player won MVP?
Fuck if
Probably
I know, bro.
Adrian Peterson.
AP won MVP,
Points
right?
well.
Here's what the odds
I
look
think
like right now.
Tyreek Hill is comparable to the impact that he's making on
For
that
sure.
team.
It's a different league now, too. It's
The odds right now to win the MVP, Brock Purdy plus 300, Dak Prescott plus 350, Jalen Hurts plus 350, then Tua plus 700, Lamar and Mahomes tied at plus 900, then Tyreek at plus 1,600.
Tyreek should be above everyone.
You should be above Lamar. You should be above Mahomes.
It makes
for
it.
sure.
I get it's a quarterback
Besides
award.
Hurts,
100%.
I get it's a quarterback award. I
Hurts
totally
should still be
understand that.
above him because Hurts has still been balling. They're 10-2.
Not really, bro. As a quarterback, like the tush pushes. I get it.
The tush push is definitely
over
like
75% of his rushing touchdowns at 11 rushing touchdowns is tush push within 1 yard. So
I don't think that matters. Like he's still bringing their teams.
still
to
doing
a 10-2
it.
I
record.
agree with you, and I understand. I'm just saying, to me, there's only 3 logical MVP candidates right now through 13 weeks. The others, the fact that Jalen Hurts is there, Lamar is there, Mahomes is there, Tua is there, it's because it's a quarterback award. And this could be the first year, if Purdy falls off or if Dak falls off, where a non-quarterback can win. So to me, there's 3 logical
Hurts
quarterbacks.
continues to fall off. Like if Hurts loses a couple more games, if they lose to the Cowboys,
I don't think they will, but if they lose to the Cowboys, yes, naturally. If Dak pops off, but if Dak loses, then yeah, that's going to hurt him. If Purdy loses a game, it's going to hurt him.
I want Tyreek Hill to win MVP.
Same.
That would be way more exciting for the league. I want that to happen.
Not Mr. Irrelevant.
Not
the last pick in the draft,
bro.
I would be fine with it. I just think it would be so much more exciting if a wide receiver won MVP.
I will say it'd be good for football if a wide receiver won the MVP.
It would be so fun,
because I think it's ridiculous. I love quarterbacks. I get that they're the most quarterback. I get that they're the most valuable position in all of sports, probably, right?
Yeah, you have a good quarterback, you're winning.
Can at some point, like Tyreek is making this offense ridiculous for the.
Can we just put into context what Tyreek Hill is doing? And that's why he deserves to be in the MVP conversation. That's why he's one of 3 logical candidates. Statistically speaking, Tyreek Hill just had his 2nd best season of his career. Better than any season he's had in Kansas City. The best season he had was last year in Miami. So let's just take 12
games.
There's 5 games left in the season, and he just had his 2nd best season of his entire career.
Today,
if the season ended today, he would have finished with 93 receptions, 1,481 yards, and 12 touchdowns.
That's fucking stupid.
He is on pace right now to go for more than 2,000 yards. If he surpasses 2,000 and the Dolphins get the number 1 seed, give him the MVP.
Yeah.
But not if Brock keeps winning like this and playing really well.
Yeah, but there's
Dak.
Fair, but he deserves
You need both Dak and Brock to fall off.
There's a reason those 2 guys are leading the odds.
I
They're
agree.
the quarterbacks.
Tyreek will never win.
Clearly are more likely to win the MVP, but I think it would be fucking fun. Tyreek gets it.
I also love my guy Tua, but what Tyreek is doing, and
he's elevating Tua. It's so obvious he's elevating.
Tyreek didn't play for 2.5 quarters yesterday, or a quarter and a half.
Tua didn't.
No, and Tyreek, they stopped playing. They pulled all the starters after the first drive in the third quarter.
A 60-yarder and a 73-yarder.
He had 143 yards on 5 receptions.
Yeah,
that's insane.
5.
That's insane.
How many?
5. Bro,
5.
3 logical candidates to win the MVP this year. Don't tell me otherwise. Debate a wall.
Logical is the hard word, but
logical.
Like it's the logical ones is Jalen Hurts.
No, what do you mean? There's 2. If it's a quarterback if it's a quarterback award, I should say, there's 2 quarterbacks that are playing the best football on the best teams right now.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Jalen has some things. Jalen has some flaws. Lamar has some things. Lamar has flaws. Mahomes has flaws. Tua has flaws. All these guys have flaws. Brock and Dak right now, they're playing flawless football.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek is the only other player in the NFL that is playing flawless football. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If Deron Bland didn't get cooked by DK.
No, Duran's not winning MVP.
Defensive player would never win MVP.
Yeah. So that's how I feel. I got it off my chest. But yeah, that's crazy.
We talked about a lot about the Niners just now and Brock Purdy. But
we can continue to if we
let's
want.
talk about the Eagles. What is the problem with Philadelphia right now?
I think the problem with the Eagles right now is there's no issue with the team. They're a great team. It's that we overhyped them for being 10-1. The Eagles are never as good as their record stated,
bro.
And that's fine. That's good and dandy. Like you don't have to be this huge juggernaut to be a Super Bowl contender. They're still a Super Bowl contender. They're a great team. But like let me pull up their schedule real quick, okay? Let's go through it. The 10-1 record is not as great as you might think. Like
it's pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah, 10-1's fucking great. You're winning the games you need to win. I get that. But the Eagles were not this dominant fucking team that is just like boat racing.
Yeah, last year they
have not steamrolled anyone.
I saw
doesn't feel like
they've through 13 games at this point in the season. Last year they had 350 more rushing yards.
Yeah,
and they do this year, so they're not
played 12.
Huh?
They've only played 12 games.
Okay, but they've had 350 less rushing yards at this point.
No, but like week 1, they beat the Patriots. The Eagles beat the Patriots by 5. Then you beat the Vikings by 6. You beat the Bucks by 14. Good win. The Bucks still suck. Then you beat the Commanders by 3. That game was close. The Commanders were winning for most of that game. Then you beat the Rams by single digits. Then you lose to the Jets. Good Lord. But losses happen, whatever. Then you beat the Dolphins by 14, which we know, Adam.
Closer.
Closer than the score suggests.
Thanks,
I got
Jack.
you.
Appreciate that.
And then you beat the Commanders. I want to say that was an overtime or the last drive of the game, if my memory is correct, by 7. You beat them by 7. Then you beat the Cowboys by 5. Good win. Cowboys, great team.
Yep.
But you know who beat that Cowboys team by 1 billion points? The 49ers. But this isn't about the Niners. It's about the Eagles. Then you beat the Chiefs by 4. The Chiefs are 8-4. They're not like an insane juggernaut this year. They're good.
No,
good
but
team. Still got Patrick Mahomes, but that's a good win, not insane.
You
beat a fraudulent-ass Bills team in overtime at home.
The Bills played great.
What's this? 42-19.
Do you need help? You could zoom in on the iPhone.
Oh, who is it? Who is it?
They just lost 42-19 to the Niners. Wow.
If you pinch, you can see that.
But no, like the Eagles are still a fucking awesome team.
I want to know. What their point differential.
I'm not discrediting them. I just think that we were too early in saying like the Eagles are by far the best team in football, bro. They're 10-1. Like look at the record. The record doesn't show exactly how great that team is.
The Eagles just went through a gauntlet. The Chiefs, the Bills, the Cowboys, and the 49ers.
You just named two. The first 2 teams you just named are not as good as their team.
The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, and they're being talked about at the top of the AFC. The Bills have Josh Allen. Their record is not as good, but they're still good teams. They're still
you're using your argument against you. Like, the Chiefs are 8-4, the Bills are 6-6, but they're still playing better than those records show.
If you would have told me, at the beginning of the season, here's their gauntlet, and you left this gauntlet with these 4 teams 3-1. Fantastic. Now, granted, this one hurts. This is a stain. This is like a tough pill to swallow if you're an Eagles fan, but you just came out of a 4-game gauntlet, 3-1. You're okay. 10-2, still atop the NFC. You are okay. Because also, you want to bring up, yes, they haven't beaten the fuck out of teams, but no one's going to come back at the end of the day when you get into the playoffs and been like, well,
the Eagles aren't that good.
They're not beating down on those teams. Because, like, I'm with you, and granted, they haven't knocked out teams like you guys have, but you guys also lost to not that great of teams. Losses happen.
Who did the Eagles lose to? First loss. Jets.
Bro, I
and
agree
the Chiefs
with you. You lost to the Colts.
I know. I'm just saying.
You lost to the fucking Vikings, and you lost to the Bengals, and you lost to the Browns. Like,
we lost to Kirk Cousins, though, not Josh Dobbs Vikings. Let's make that very clear.
I'm just saying, if we want to get into like a real analytical lens of what's wrong with the Eagles, it's the defense. The defense looks bad. They're the worst team at getting off the field on 3rd down. Like, they are worse. Jalen Hurts, something is going on with his knee. They're so much more pass heavy than they were last year. They're not sticking. They had 9 rushing attempts.
Awful too.
Their secondary is not as great. They had 9 rushing attempts yesterday against the Niners. Outside of like a Jalen Hurts just scrambling, like they're not sticking to the ground game. It was also a close game at the half.
I think they knew they couldn't run the ball against the Niners. Like, you take advantage of the Niners because of our secondary.
I'm just saying, though, that was always part of their identity. So if we want to point to something being super analytical about the Eagles, their defense is worse. They can't get off the field on 3rd down. They're way more pass heavy, it feels like. And the
Niners scored 6 straight possessions with a touchdown yesterday.
But the Eagles are going to be fine. I think the Eagles are going to be fine. You're going to see them in the playoffs. You're going to see them in the NFC Championship. It's one of you 3 teams: Cowboys, Niners, Eagles.
What about the Lions?
And the Lions are out of the 4 teams that are 9-3 and above. The Lions are the clown emoji out of it. The Lions are good, but
good for them to be there, though.
Yeah, I'm giving them credit, but
I think they could.
I'm just saying, like, you're gonna get to the playoffs, and we've seen time and time again that like the team that wins in the regular season has lost also in the team that wins in the regular season loses in the playoffs.
I don't know if that's actually that much of a pattern. I think Felipe just says that.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it's a real. What do you mean? It's just even
Giants
if
Eagles last year. You guys lost in the regular season twice, right?
Bro,
Then they beat you in the playoffs.
We're using the Giants.
I'm just saying, you lost 3 times.
The Giants.
All right, Seahawks Niners last year. Niners beat them twice, then we beat them in the playoffs again.
You're bringing up examples where there is a complete.
People did not think that with the Niners and Seahawks last year.
Bro, you have way more talent. You have some of the
people
most
did
talent.
not think
I'm
that
just
they were
saying,
that.
talent-wise, the Eagles, I think, have a lot of talent.
But that's not necessarily.
How often does that happen?
Yeah, that's not necessarily like a notion.
I think Felipe just says that, and we just subscribe.
No, I think it's bro. Regardless of what is said, it's logic. You play a team; it's a measuring stick. You see how they play them. You make adjustments. That's it.
I think it's stupid.
That's fair. I
think it's stupid.
I just think you deserve this.
You show you're the better team, so you can beat them in the playoffs.
You're the better team. You're the best team in football. The Niners are the best team. You deserve everything. No Eagles fan can run their mouth. They got to take it on the chin. I'm just saying, you're 10. The Eagles are 10-2.
No.
It's gonna be
fine.
fine.
To say that they're still not a threat is stupid. But
I'm not saying they're not a threat. They are a threat.
Of course.
But can I just say something just for a bit? Because I
the floor
would
is
be
yours.
remiss if I did not bring
remissions. We don't want that to happen.
So when you lose 42-19, there's no fucking excuses, right? There's none. You got boat race, right?
You got your ass kicked.
Eagles are pointing at the refs, who the refs are usually wearing Eagles colors every single week, but let's not get into that.
Green, black.
Lane Johnson jumps off, or he false starts every single fucking snap. That's not here or there. They were calling us all off season, because we were complaining about how Brock Purdy got hurt. Then we had Josh Johnson. Then we had McCaffrey at quarterback. So Eagles fans were talking to us, calling us the 40 whiners, how we're always bitching and complaining. We always have an excuse. Just take the loss and move on, man. Like, you lost. We dominated you. All right. What'd you guys do in the Super Bowl? Your players are complaining about how the grass is the reason you lost. They're not even talking about that horrible call, that DPI at the end of the game. They're not even talking about that. They're talking about the grass. And now Eagles fans, after this loss that they just got beat down by last night, they're all complaining. They're all complaining. They're all whining. They're all whining about the refs. Are they actually all
whining though?
Oh, yeah. I've seen it all over Twitter. They're all whining. They're all complaining about the refs, how the refs, there are blatant holds that they missed on 2 of the Debo touchdowns. There's this, that, the DPI, all this shit. They're talking about all this stuff. Stop whining. You got beat 42-19.
Y'all got your ass fucking kicked. Dominated. Take this one on the chin and just
take it on the chin. There's nothing wrong with that. We got smoked by we got smoked by teams this year. That's fine. It fucking happens. Just take it on the chin. Move on.
You're still
don't whine about it.
Hey, pressure.
I never whined that much about Brock Purdy getting hurt last year in the playoffs. We fucking lost. We got embarrassed.
Shit happens. That's football. Injuries happen.
Move on.
Also a good excuse.
I don't. It's a great excuse to have, though, no doubt about it. But the Eagles are fully healthy yesterday. We were fully healthy yesterday, and we beat the shit out of you.
You deserve.
Come back in the playoffs and beat the shit out of us if you're that good.
Yep.
Good call, Jack. You don't call us 40 whiners if you guys are gonna go bitch and moan. I don't even need it. Well, I appreciate that.
I'll take them.
But don't call us the 40 whiners all off season when you're bitching and moaning about losing when you're fully healthy. We didn't have Brock last year.
Yep.
We had Josh Johnson, and then he was out. I can whine about that all I fucking want because that's our starting quarterback. We're on at the start of the season, our 4th string guy, and then a guy that played quarterback in high school. All right.
Yeah, but you
guys are fully healthy yesterday, and we beat the shit out of you.
Yep.
Wear it, bitch. God damn. It just annoys me.
What's going on? What is happening? Is that a leaf?
Mm-hmm. It just annoys me that Eagles fans can be it's.
No, you got to talk your talk, bro. You have every right to chirp and every right to say whatever the fuck you want. I also think a lot of people hate Philly fans.
I hate Philly fans
like yourself
deeply.
So you talk your talk, bro.
I don't even hate Philly fans. I just hate the ones that are telling us oh, stop complaining. Why?
I'm just saying, if it comes down and in the playoffs and it happens, you're gonna also and roles are reversed. You're gonna have to take that on the chin too. That's what happens.
If they beat us fully healthy in the playoffs, great.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Good for you guys. You're the better team. Healthy? You proved it. Yeah, fully healthy. No, because I'm if we had to play fucking Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Well, Darnold's a dog, so Darnold dog.
All right. Well, we do have a couple more things we should talk about.
I want to talk about some other things. What is in my ear right? Does it look good?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Sure.
Wreath. Tis the season. You know what I'm saying?
Business, baby.
I want to talk about one specific division that we came into the season saying that was going to be the worst division in football. They never had a chance to compete. No one ever thought they were going to be any good. They had a bunch of really terrible franchises. The AFC South.
Condo.
Colts.
Forge.
Everyone thought the AFC South was going to be the worst division in football, and however, ends up being the best division in football.
Isn't it? No. Well, hold on. No. The worst division in football last year is going to have the most amount of teams in the playoffs this year. Isn't that wild?
3-3.
Same.
The Colts are in the playoffs right now.
The Texans.
Jags.
The Texans are in the playoffs. And the
Jags.
Jags. And frankly, I'm happy for the AFC South.
Shout out Anne Frank.
I mean,
Condo,
dude.
Thoughts on your Colts Forge being 7-5?
Do we have a mic back there now?
Oh, yeah, he's got a mic.
Oh, he's got a mic.
We are
What we
fully
got?
prepared. I mean,
Woo!
the AFC playoff picture is just crazy.
It's
When
disgusting.
you look at the wild card
agree.
teams, it is kind of nasty. We might be by far the best wild card team, if you ask me.
Don't agree with that.
When you have the Browns, Joe Flacco did look great until like the fourth
Elite.
quarter. And then obviously the Steelers don't know what's going on with
They're
Kicks.
ass.
They
I'm not
stink.
sure that it matters.
They stink. The Steelers stink.
Just so you're saying the Colts, out of all 3 wild card teams, are by far the best team, though. You think?
Here's
I
what
do think that. Yeah.
Because I don't think a lot of people watch the Colts enough to realize that they are 7-5 and in the playoffs right now. Like, what makes the Colts that good?
Well, if you look at it on offense, they are one of the most creative and explosive offenses in football.
I wish we had
Yeah.
stats to refute
I'm
that.
going to cut to Hezbollah whenever you're talking, by the way.
And then on defense, they are a good enough defense. They're like a top 15 defense that can get by. The secondary is spotty, but like scheme-wise, we're holding together.
Well, let's clarify you're overachieving, right?
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but Gardner Minshew's been hooping.
Here's my question, though, because we're talking about the AFC South right now, and they deserve their flowers, and you deserve your flowers. The same way Jack got to talk about his team. Which AFC South team is overachieving more?
Soft.
The Texans or the Colts?
The Colts.
The Texans. I think the Texans are. Going into the year, what they win 3 or 4 games last season combined. You have a rookie quarterback starting. Like, at least the Colts got a guy that you've seen starting to play well in Gardner Minshew. Michael Pittman, proven receiver. He's a dog. Jonathan Taylor came back. They have guys. Like, the Colts have guys. Kenny Moore is a great corner, too.
Yeah.
Like, you have dudes on that team with the Colts where I'm not that shocked that they're playing well. The Texans, we had a bunch of guys that we don't fucking know about, right? Like, Damian Pierce, he hasn't even been good this year, but like, we're like, all right, we'll see how we see about him. Nico Collins, let's see how he does. Tank Dell, rookie, we have no clue how he'll do. CJ Stroud, rookie, we have no idea. Will Anderson, rookie, I have no idea. First year head coach with D'Amico
Should we
Ryan.
pour one out for Tank Dell's fibula?
Okay. Yeah, it's sad. But I think the Texans, like I said, 2025 Super Bowl champions. We're not going to get too into that one. That's just a lock at this point. But to see what they're doing with a rookie head coach, a rookie quarterback, like first, second, third year receiver, like these guys that nobody knows. It's like the island of misfit toys out there, and they're at 7-5, just outside the playoffs right now.
Well, the Colts also have a rookie head coach, right? Shane Steichen. He's the first year as a head coach. Gardner Minshew comes in for AR. Like, and you have Pittman and Josh
they're
Downs.
winning with their backup.
But you win more games right now with Gardner than AR, I think. Because AR is a little bit more of a project. You got to like kind of figure him out. Like,
Gardner Minshew's been a little bit more turbulent.
Gardner Minshew's a safe game managing guy.
It would have been more turbulent,
with
AR. I get what you're saying. I think naturally you have to say the Texans because going into this season, even after they got Will Anderson, even after they got CJ Stroud, no one was expecting them to be 7-5. Yeah. And a Broncos team that came in hot, like the same thing we've said about the Lions, right? Like you got to find ways to win games, and the Broncos started coming back. The Texans find a way to win a game, like. I would say the Texans are overachieving more, but I do think they also have more just seeing what they have now, right? Derek Stingley, Will Anderson, you had Tank Dell, RIP to the fibula. Obviously, Devin Singletary's been good. Nico, Brevin Jordan, shout out to you. Dalton Schultz, who didn't even play yesterday. Like, there are pieces. D'Amico is a guy that people want to play for. I give credit to the Texans. I take it. But the Colts, I think they can make the playoffs, bro. I think the AFC South can really have 3 teams make the playoffs at this point.
I really hope the Steelers, like, just fall. And as much as I love Mitch, and if Mitch balls out with the Steelers, great. Be very happy. I really want the Steelers to just fall out, and so the Texans and Colts can make it. Just have 3 AFC South teams. That'd be hilarious.
Well, let's talk about that. Was the next topic I wanted to bring up. Let's go through the NFC, the AFC, and then the NFC. Like, which teams do you think will be those 5, 6, 7 seeds?
Well, I think
the AFC.
Well, AFC. Go ahead.
Do you want to go NFC or AFC first?
Let's do AFC while we're talking about it.
I do think the Texans are a team that makes it. They can stick around. They can hang. My fear with the Colts, and granted it was against the Titans. Don't get triggered over there, Condo. My fear with the Colts is, can they be in a shootout with like a real offensive team? The Titans are not that. The Texans have shown us that they can be in shootouts and win in shootouts. Yes.
I do have a response to that.
Please.
We don't play a real offensive team.
That's fair.
Like the rest of the season.
That's
so I think that's why we make the playoffs.
That's fair. That's a completely fair take. I'm just saying I think the Texans do. Then I think the Browns find a way to sneak in. I need to look.
As it is right
Bill's
now.
schedule, I just looked at
the
is
as it is
fucked.
right
Bills are
now.
going to sneak in, I think.
No, they're not. Look at their schedule.
As it is right now, the Steelers are 5, the Browns are 6, and the Colts are 7.
Who
With
else is in the hunt?
Houston at 8, Denver at 9, and Buffalo at 10.
Denver could sneak in.
Denver doesn't have a bad schedule. I think the Steelers fall off without
I
Kenny.
also
As much as I love Mitch and
Steelers
Kenny's
suck,
not
bro.
that good, like they got flash in the pan kind of thing earlier this year. I think they'll fall out. I think the Browns stay in it because of their defense, and Joe Flacco actually looked
Pretty good.
solid.
Yeah.
I think the Browns get one of those seeds. I think the Texans get one of them for sure. And then I think I'll
It's the Bills,
I'll
bro.
go with the horse. I'll go with Colts Forge.
Bro, we're sleeping on the Bills way too much. I get you play the
Look at their
Chiefs.
schedule.
I get it's Chiefs Cowboys. I get that you're going to win one
Chiefs,
of those
Cowboys,
games.
Dolphins, end of the year.
Okay, but the Dolphins at that point could be resting starters. Like the division.
I think the 1 seed's going to be very much up for grabs.
If that's January 7th, the 1 seed could be up for grabs before then against the Ravens the week before. So I think that you could, if the division's wrapped up and the seeding's pretty much wrapped up, it's either your 2 or 3.
Yeah, but
they're going to
Mike
rest
White-
starters. Okay. Then they play the Patriots a route. Then you play the Chargers in LA. You have 2 games.
Actually, that's a good game.
I think the Bills are going to get into the playoffs. So
I just
my
don't.
take, you made yours. Mine would be, I don't know which number based off it, but I think it's
would
Bills.
be the last seed probably.
I think it's Bills, Texans, and
Brownies.
Colts,
but the Browns got routed.
Denver.
I'm going to go
Well,
Denver.
the
sneaks in.
Rams are good.
I'm going to go Denver sneaks in.
What's Denver's schedule like? I'm pretty sure it's easy the rest of the way. I want to say they have like the Raiders left. I think another against the Chargers. I know they got the Chiefs one more time.
Broncos play the Chargers, the Lions, tough game. Then they play the Patriots, the Chargers, and the Raiders. So they wrap up with 2 divisional games.
They play the Chargers twice. the
Raiders,
Lions, and the
Patriots.
Patriots who have
They're all winnable
their
games.
defenses.
All winnable games. So yeah, I could see the Broncos.
Primetime game, Saturday night, 8:15 against
Well,
Detroit is not as much of a loss for Detroit.
NFC's very tight.
Yeah, so let's get into the NFC for
It kind of falls off like crazy after the first
It does.
5 teams,
I think so. Hold on, let me pull
or
up.
even I guess like
Playoff.
even
Can I
go to the
NFC
bathroom
South
quick here?
sucks.
Yeah, you
I wanna
gotta
be
pee?
a part of this conversation.
You have to pee?
How fast? Like it's gonna be that fast? Go.
I want to.
Go pee. We'll keep it going here. You want to listen? You want to hear the NFC?
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
I mean, obviously Philly 1, San Francisco 2, Detroit 3. Do you know who's 4 right now?
Saints, Falcons?
Falcons
Yeah,
at 6 and 6
that's
are the
insane.
4 seed.
They're not winning a playoff game.
No, definitely not. Then
No.
5 is Dallas, obviously in the first wild card spot.
Mhm. And then it goes Vikings, Rams,
Vikings, Packers,
Packers,
and then the Rams. Seahawks are 6 and 6. Tampa Bay is. I mean, after that, there's a
think-
drop off.
All right, so
There's
I
a
think
significant
goes,
drop off.
The first 4, I think, will stay the same. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I think it'll go. Actually, dude,
Saints
because
are
I feel
only
like,
a
I feel like
game
the
back on
Cowboys
the
beat the
Falcons.
Eagles this week. I don't know how that's going to shake out, but I say the 3 wildcard teams, the NFC, will be. Let's go with the Eagles. The Eagles will be one of them. I think the Cowboys win the division.
Ooh,
I think Cowboys win the division. The Eagles will be the 5 seed, and they're the best 5 seed we've ever fucking seen. Let's be real about that.
Definitely.
But Eagles will be the 5 seed, and then after that, I'll go with the Packers because their schedule is easy as shit.
Is it?
It's insane.
Who do they play?
We talked about it earlier. I think. Do you want to pull it up on your laptop?
Yeah, sure.
They have like one. I think it's the easiest remaining schedule. They're all cakewalks.
Packers schedule. Let's see.
Almost every single one.
Oh. Where'd it
They've
go?
got
Where'd it go?
5
Where'd it go?
left. What do they got?
5
Time.
left. Giants. Oh,
Win.
that's Monday Night Football this week.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, gross. And it
So
just
we got
reloaded.
Giants.
We got the Giants, then the Bucks, then the Panthers, then the Vikings, then the Bears.
The only one that I'm like, oh, they might not win that is Vikings because it's
Minnesota,
at
yeah.
Minnesota on
Tampa
prime
Bay.
time.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Tampa
right?
could be sneaky, but I don't think Tampa's that good. So I think it'll go Eagles 5 seed, Vikings 6 seed, and then I'm gonna go Rams 7 seed. The Rams are sneaky nice.
They are sneaky. Dude, they put up a
But
big
when Matt Stafford, the
36
only
by
reason the Rams
yesterday.
were losing a few games earlier this year is that was Matt Stafford was hurt. Matt Stafford, when he's playing, that team can beat anybody.
He's amazing.
They're great. Their offense is awesome to watch.
Yeah.
They're a sneaky fun team. I think the Rams make that 7 spot,
Did you
which
hear what
would
his
leave
prediction was?
No,
which
I
would
heard
leave the
Eagles.
Seahawks out, and then who else?
Seahawks out, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. Did you say Green Bay's
Said
in?
Green Bay at the 6.
The Saints.
The Saints would not.
That's
make
kind of it.
it. All right.
I think
Everyone else
I
sucks.
forgot about the Eagles. I've got like the Eagles, Cowboys at one of those teams is definitely going to make it.
If
So
whoever wins the Eagles Cowboys game, well,
the opposite will be that 5th seed, in my opinion.
yes.
Yeah, whoever loses will be the 5.
Yes. Whoever loses will be.
Whoever wins this game
I actually
next
think
week will win the division.
just mathematically here for a second, if Dallas is 9-3, Philly is 10-2. If Dallas were to win, they would both be 10-3.
Yeah.
I don't think yet Dallas would get the advantage because they'd both be 3-1 in the division. Or no,
What goes to conference?
Dallas would go 4-1, and Philly would be 3-1. So Dallas.
Well, that'd be why. Yeah, that'd be why.
So Dallas would take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's why
Philly has a better conference schedule,
Yeah,
so that's one thing. I think the loser of Dallas.
Pick one. That's the fun part. You got to pick one.
So because I have a massive parlay, $2 to win $6,000 on every division winner, and I picked the Cowboys to win the division, and everything else right now is hitting. Eagles are the 5th seed.
Yeah,
because I need that money. I could really use that. Then I think I got Green Bay getting in because that's my team. That's my team.
Green Bay will definitely get. I think that's
Matt LaFleur undefeated in December.
So at 5 you have the Eagles, and at 6 you have Green Bay.
Yeah,
and then
I have the Seahawks. I think they find a way to sneak in. I think what they showed against Dallas is a team that can put up points. I think they found a little bit of more of an identity in terms of allowing Geno to cook again. Obviously, Charbonnet's out, but they got Kenny McIntosh, U-School product.
By the way,
yeah, shout out U-School. I got the Seahawks. I think the Rams slightly miss it just because
they have the edge over the Seahawks.
They just do. Oh, they do.
They beat the Seahawks twice.
Then that changes a lot of things. Yeah,
I
don't know their schedule, but I just feel like the Seahawks are a better team all around.
I just don't think. I don't know. There's something about Stafford in that offense that's just like they can hang.
I agree, bro. No,
they just put up 33 on the Browns defense.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. We are not talking about that.
Their weapons are they've also been filthy.
Puka and the Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup.
Let's put up 30 on the Browns defense.
Thank you for that nugget. Appreciate that.
I mean, bro.
Hey, there we go. See? Bro, he's so fucking cute.
Hey, 1,000-yard receiver.
Should be, will be soon.
Has it already.
I don't think he has 1,000.
Yeah, he does. He's top 10 receiving yards this year.
Good for him.
What a beast. What a beast.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. What do you think? You got any? Did you make your picks yet?
No, I do think the Seahawks are going to be the ones to get in there.
You think it'll be this same first two, or do you think it goes?
I think the Eagles will secure the 1 seed.
Okay.
I think the Cowboys won't.
Hot take.
I think the Cowboys
5 seed.
The Cowboys will Cowboys.
Or because of the Packers schedule,
I think
possibly Packers 5 seed.
The Cowboys haven't beat a super good team yet, so I want to see them.
Didn't beat anyone above 500.
Exactly. So I'm gonna probably take the Eagles this week. They're gonna bounce back.
They should.
They'll play.
I'm just saying that
they'll beat the Cowboys
today.
Yeah, I think they'll beat the Cowboys. So the Cowboys will be 5. Who else we got?
Packers. You got Packers, Seahawks, Rams. Those are like really the ones to choose from.
I don't really believe in the Packers. I don't really believe in Minnesota.
Nice little stretch for the boys.
You know what I could see happening? I could see Seattle getting the 6 seed and LA getting the 7 seed.
I could see
that too.
And I don't
believe
boys.
in the Packers.
I could see the Seattle beating the Niners this week.
Let's also
that's
big
spot
happen.
for them.
Let's also clarify. There's a good chance that one of these other teams in the NFC South makes it in Tampa and New Orleans. They're both 5-7. The Falcons are 6-6. The Falcons, they could easily win a couple more games.
What about the Bears? They're technically in the hunt right now.
4-8.
Oh no, they're not. They weren't in the hunt graphic.
No, just because they're division.
I don't fucking.
You got to be in the graphic.
I don't fucking know.
In the hunt.
They're not mathematically.
I will say though.
Only team that is
speaking of the Bucks, after going through our playoff predictions, I think we got to give Mike Evans a lot more credit.
Oh,
we got to start talking about Mike Evans as a
right
top
now
10
or all
wide
time.
I don't even say
all time and in the current NFL.
I was gonna say, I don't even care about talking about him top 10 right now. Let's talk about how Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer.
He is a 1,000% Hall of Famer.
Everyone else who has had, I think it's 10. I think there's 8+ or whatever 1,000-yard seasons receiving. I just botched that.
You got it.
I can cut it up, whatever. Every other player who's had, I think, 8+ 1,000-yard receiving seasons has gotten in the Hall of Fame.
There's only 2 players in NFL history that have had 10 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons.
Right.
Mike Evans is one. Jack, who's the other one?
Jerry Rice.
Jariah Rice.
He's pretty good.
Pretty damn good, you'd say.
Might just be the best fucking receiver of all time.
He was pretty good.
So and granted, Mike Evans is not the sexy pick to put in your top 10. And he's going to run. He's a deep ball type of guy, but he has consistently produced. It's a disservice to not talk about him in the top 10.
I think
He's got to be in that top 12. I also think we should start saying top 12 wide receivers.
One of the reasons why he might not make the Hall of Fame, I think he should be Hall of Famer because of the longevity and how he's been so consistent.
Won a Super Bowl also.
Yeah, but one of the reasons why people I think might not think of him as a Hall of Famer is because he's never been a top 5 wide receiver in football.
Not at any one point.
No, at one point in his career, Mike Evans has never been that motherfucker. He's been very good.
But it's not his fault that he's been in a league with dominant wide receivers.
And that's exactly.
I feel like Larry Fitzgerald was always kind of like that. There were guys that were
Larry
better.
Fitzgerald's a first ballot.
He was probably better at his peak, but there were guys that were always better than him. I feel like there was
Larry was a better route runner, better.
But again, there was so many. There's been still the amount of elite wide receivers
and doing it so well.
The amount of elite wide receivers in the NFL over this last decade is wild. So the fact that Mike has been able to do this and be in a elite company is
you want to put in perspective like how long Mike Evans has been doing this for. It's like he was Johnny Manziel's #1 option at Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's wild.
And he's still putting up 1,000-yard receiving leagues, 1,000-yard receiving years in this league. It's like
and it's with Baker, right? Like we're not even. It's not like we're sitting here saying
he's done it with Baker. He's done it with Jameis.
I mean, he had Brady, sure, but he had Brady for what, 3 years, 2 years?
He's done it with bad quarterbacks most of his career. If he was on a team like a fucking Chiefs or Bills, someone that could actually use him,
he would have been.
Which I hope he leaves. I think he's a free agent at the end of this year.
He is a free agent.
I hope he leaves to go somewhere like that. He would flourish.
Hey, Brett, make a call. Make a call.
Is that the GM of the Chiefs?
Yeah, Brett Veach.
Brett Veach.
All right, well, we got to wrap up here.
Thank you for bringing up Mike Evans.
Absolute pleasure. Kondo, you're a legend behind the scenes.
Hopefully we get Felipe back.
Leave us with some words of wisdom.
Clap. No. Give us a clap. I think.
No.
Oh yeah.
Give me the clap. No. You don't need to clap. We've overdone.
Here we go.
Yeah, I feel like my clap has been overexposed.
All right, go one more time. Though.
One more.
Yeah.
This could be my last clap.
Here we go.
That was good. That was good for you. That was solid.
That was beautifully done.
But yeah, this was a good episode. Hopefully, get Felipe.
One word of wisdom right now, Kondo, to let us part.
Just one word.
No, words
of wisdom,
mayhaps
from Kondo.
Monday may not be the best day, but it is a day. Use it wisely.
Amen, baby. Yo, thank you.
Felipe's got something to prove.
He does. Thanks for listening to the Caps Off podcast. We'll see you next time.
See you tomorrow.
Peace.